Awesome. Hi, everybody. Lindsay here with Find Fearless Coaching, and welcome to episode 7 of a Fearless Life interview series. My guest today is the fearless and fabulous Ashley Downs, AKA used to be Ashley Sager. We actually went to school together in grade school and high school. So I've known this fabulous woman for a very long time, and she is an amazing human being. So quick intro about her, just to give you guys heads up of a little bit of her background. So she is the president and owner of Fit Fuel Nutrition, Fitness, and Cryotherapy. And she's also an IFBB Fitness Pro. We'll learn more about that in just a minute for those of you who don't know what that is. She holds a Bachelor's of Arts or BA in Health and Fitness from Purdue University. Whoop, whoop, go Purdue. and practices as an ACE or ACE certified personal training and nutrition specialist. Since beginning her career in the fitness industry in 2005, Ashley has acquired additional certificates, including lifestyle and weight management, group fitness, sports conditioning, and behavior change management. Outside of the gym, she's also a wife and a mother of 3 boys, which is such an impressive accomplishment all on its own. And she's driven to help others find their wellness goals by sharing her passion for health and fitness. So Ashley, there's so much more about you, but we'll learn more about you throughout this interview. First, I want to thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful, and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I'm really excited.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, let's kick this off. Tell us a little bit about your background, about your history, your kind of your journey up until this point.
Yeah. So, I just always grew up. I was raised in a household where exercise was important to both of my parents. My dad would constantly go running or go golfing, always had us out in the yard playing, outdoors. And then my mom always did group fitness. And so I was maybe, 10 years old. And it got to the point where she would say, well, you're coming with me to class, and you can either sit in the babysitting room or you can do the class with me. And I was too cool for school. I wasn't going in that baby room. So I started doing group fitness at probably 10 years old, and just absolutely fell in love with it. Was a cheerleader through high school and college. And when I went to Purdue, we had weights for cheerleading, and we had our own trainer there. And I found this love for weightlifting, and learned so much while I was there. Ended up changing my major to health and fitness because I just knew that was my passion. That's what I wanted to share with other people. And my parents are like, what are you going to do with that? I was like, I don't know. I might own a gym one day. And but no, I've always loved it. And I love sharing it. I love seeing other people succeed when they set their own personal goals. And it doesn't feel like work to me.
That is amazing, girl. So after college, like what was your process into becoming first an entrepreneur, which is awesome because you own a massively successful business that helps so many people. And then also after that, I want you to tell us about the IFBB Fitness Pro. But first, tell us about your journey into becoming an entrepreneur and helping others.
Yeah. So upon graduating, I worked for the hospital as a health educator for several years. And then a position opened up at Health Point, which was our local health club in town. So I became a certified personal trainer at that point, started working at Health Point. And then started having babies. So that backed off to just a part-time position while I was staying at home with my kids. And but I never wanted to let that go because I knew there was going to be a point in time where they were going to go to school. And I was just, I'm driven, feel like I need to have a purpose, right? And I feel that purpose is helping others, in their health and fitness journey. And so I continued there for years, just doing group fitness and personal training here and there when it worked out. And then once my youngest son, or well, no, it was my middle son. We didn't have Theo yet. My boys are 11, 9, and 2. And so we didn't have the 2-year-old at that point in time, but my middle son went to school, and Ryan, my husband, and I just, we sat down and talked about it, that I was ready to do something a little bit more. I was ready to kind of go out on my own. And so it started small. I started with just nutrition coaching, and I was solely doing nutrition coaching out of my kitchen. Clients were coming over, and I was doing some personal training out of my house. And it just kind of over time caught on, and it grew. And then we moved into a temporary location where we just did nutrition coaching and group fitness. We were there for a little over a year. Then we got shut down with the quarantine. But then when things opened back up in 2020, we moved to an even bigger location now at the River Center in Jasper. And so now I like to say we're a full-blown wellness center. We offer group fitness, nutrition coaching, cryotherapy. We have a physical therapist on staff. We do personal training. It's kind of your one-stop wellness shop.
Amazing. So can you elaborate a little bit about what cryotherapy is? Because I feel like a lot of people don't quite understand it, or maybe not that they don't understand it, but they don't know what it is. They've never heard of it. And also, what are the benefits of it?
Right. So cryo meaning cold, and then therapy, obviously. So it's cold therapy. And there's various modes of cold therapy, ice bath, even just using an ice pack, at a acute area such as your knee or your ankle or something. But our cryotherapy unit is a whole body cryo unit. It's a chamber that you stand in. Your head sticks out of the top. And there are pictures on our website if anyone's curious. But you stand in there for 3 minutes, and we use liquid nitrogen to drop that temperature down to negative 230 degrees. And what that does is it gets your blood circulating through the body, where it can pick up added oxygen and nutrients. And then when you step out of that unit, you get this rush of blood flow. And it also creates an endorphin rush. A lot of people feel it's similar to a runner's high for any runners out there. You just get that, you just feel good when you come out. But what that does is it gets the blood flowing to help decrease inflammation in the body. So initially I was drawn to it because I was training for a marathon and I had Achilles tendonitis. And so I tried it, and I was blown away by the results from it. It really, really helped. And then I started reading about the benefits, and it's not only for athletes. It is for anybody that's got inflammation issues. So people with fibromyalgia, people with, we've had women come in that are menopausal. It helps with chronic migraines, really anything that's inflammatory. We've got a lot of people will come in post-surgery to try to get that inflammation down. So wow. There's so many benefits. And the only requirements, we do have a health waiver that you have to complete before you can go in. We have to make sure that, you're a healthy individual because it is a stress on the body. But the only requirements really, if you can pass that waiver, you have to be 4'11" and 85 pounds.
And in regards to like how often you need to do it, is that dependent upon the individual, unique to the individual, or is it once or twice a week? I'm actually curious for personal question on that, but.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. We get that all the time. It is definitely an individual thing. I'm training hard for my competition that you wanted to touch on in a bit. So I go in pretty much every day just so that I can recover quickly, get back in the gym tomorrow and work out, get another hard workout in. So I go daily, but yeah, I'd say most people we see come in once or twice a week. And then again, depending on the severity, like if you have an injury or maybe you're recovering from a surgery, we like to say hit it harder in the beginning, and then you can sort of back it off to more of a maintenance mode once you start to feel better.
Amazing. So I want to hear more about the IFBB Fitness Pro. So personally, I saw a video, an incredible video of the competition. And of course, some photos that I've posted to promote this interview. You look amazing. But I would love to know what first off is IFBB and just what all went into training for this competition.
Yeah, so IFBB is an International Federation of Bodybuilding. So there's two different divisions or leagues, if you will. Mm-hmm. There's NPC, the National Physique Committee, and the IFBB. The NPC is, I would relate it to the amateur level. The IFBB is the professional level. And so, oh gosh, probably back in 2017 or 18, I had someone approach me and she wanted me to train her to do a bodybuilding competition. And I said, well, I can train you, but I know nothing about that. I know nothing about the suits and the posing and the hair and makeup, and I'm not your girl. And I went home and I thought about it and I thought, well, as a personal trainer, I should know these things. So what better way to learn something than to do it yourself? Yeah. So I scroll back and I said, I can't train you, but I will do it with you and learn alongside with you. And so I signed up for a bodybuilding competition and signed up for the bikini division and hired a trainer, a friend I knew in Indianapolis. And she kind of walked us both through our first competition. And my husband went to watch and he, I was backstage and he was out in the crowd and he texted me and said, why aren't you in the fitness division? And I'm like, what's the fitness division? He said, these girls are out here doing flips and jumps and push-ups. And he's like, this is totally up your alley. So I started to look into it a little more. And anyway, long story short, in the meantime, had a baby. And then quarantine, all of that hit. And so honestly, through quarantine, I was bored a lot. And so started looking more into this fitness division, started watching Whitney Jones, who is now my coach. She was kind of my inspiration. And I was like, I think I'm going to do this. So I signed up for a competition. I ended up winning the first one that I did at the state. And so once you win a national qualifier, you can then go compete at a national show. There are several throughout the year. And if you win a national competition, you earn your pro card into the IFBB Pro League. So anyway, trained with Whitney, hired Whitney, went and trained with her, went to South Carolina in May, where I earned my pro card. So I am now gearing up to compete in my first pro show in November.
Okay, amazing. So that brings me to the next part. So there's so much, I call it the 4 Ds. I don't know, when I was thinking about this interview, I got inspired about that. And when I think about you, I think of this. So determination, dedication, discipline, and diligence. So the reason I bring this up is because you're not only competing did you say your pro card, in a pro fitness competition, but that requires so much determination, dedication, focus, diligence, discipline, but you're also a mother of 3 and a loving, supportive wife, and also a business owner. So how do you do all this? Like, how do you find the time? What does it require? What does your daily life look like? I mean, any tips you can give any of us, because I know that it takes not only these 4 Ds, but so much more. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm not Superwoman for one.
Probably the closest thing though to it.
But I mean, it's just, to me, it's all about finding the balance. And what are you capable of giving 100% to in your life and prioritizing, right? So like my family, I prioritize my family. And Ryan has been so supportive of my business adventures, of my fitness adventures. He is 100% behind me. So that's number one, is just, I think, having his support behind all of this is super helpful. But it does help that I own a gym. And so I'm able to kind of get my workouts in while I'm working. But what I tell people, a lot of people that struggle to find time to work out, is build it into your day. And one thing I've had to just learn over the years too, is not to be so hard on myself. If I'm having a day where I can't hit certain skills, or, I'm just feeling kind of injured, I'll just take a step back, and not that I'll take the day completely off from working out, but I will just, I'll either find something else that is more productive, that doesn't hurt, or I will, just modify things. And that's something I tell my classes all the time too. It's like, guys, you can modify almost anything that we're doing in here. So that's been important. Another thing that's really important, just to keep your sanity, is sleep. And I think a lot of people these days don't prioritize the sleep and rest and recovery time. And I'll tell any athlete, that is part of your training. So don't neglect your sleep health. And, keeping God in the center of all of it helps to keep you sane. And that helps keep me driven too. There's a lot of times where, if I'm putting in a lot of training for myself, for my own personal benefit, I'll take a step back, like, God, why am I doing this? How am I helping others by competing? And, I kind of look back to, I hope that I'm inspiring other people. Not that everyone's going to go out there and do flips and flying push-ups, but inspire other people to, hey, maybe I'm going to try to do 10 push-ups today. Maybe I'm going to try to do 1 push-up today. And one motto that Adria is our manager and other trainer and physical therapist at the gym. And one thing that Adria and I always strive for with people is to focus on just being better than before. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to strive for perfection. Just be better than you were before. So I kind of went on a tangent there, but
no, it's really perfect. I mean, it's actually really huge. So being better than before, because, perfectionism can be positive and negative. So I love that, taking the perfectionism out of the equation and just being better than before and the day before. Okay. So is there ever a time where you just felt like totally giving up? And what did you
2020
do about it? What'd you say? What'd you say?
I said 2020.
Yes. Yeah, I think a lot of us felt that way in 2020.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, let me go back to my notes, because I really did take some time to think about some of this. And where was that note? Yeah, when it comes to my business, I wouldn't say that there's ever been a time where I felt like giving up, because seeing others succeed keeps me driven. And it's just even little successes from other people of, hey, I lifted a new weight this week, or, hey, I did a push-up on my toes today, or, hey, I meal planned 5 meals this week. And so seeing things like that, it inspires me. I know you all, my members, they inspire me more than they know. And so I can't say that I've ever felt like giving up on the business. But yeah, there's certainly times, being injured and, just in my own fitness journey. Yeah, there's certainly times that I'm like, why am I doing this? I don't have to do this. But I think it's important to keep your sense of self and always have a goal out in front of you. And, whether that goal is a week from now or 6 months from now, I think it's important to always set goals. And, we're going to have setbacks. I've got a client I'm working with right now, and she just seems to have setback after setback. And, I just keep telling her, like, this is something that you really want. Like, you keep pushing, you keep driving, and you don't give up on that dream.
Also, do you find that in times like that, you mentioned God before or whatever people may believe in, but faith and spirituality or faith and devotion to something or trusting in something greater has been helpful as well?
Yeah. And that's a message that I like to say all the time too, is just trust the process. If you've got a plan in mind, whether that's a workout plan or a business plan or a plan to go to school, whatever it is, trust the process. You've got to put in the work and the training. But trust yourself, trust that God or whatever your spiritual belief is going to lead you down the right path, as long as you are working your plan and you're living your life with integrity. I think you just have to trust it and be patient. And patience is hard, but that's part of it. And I've learned that with bodybuilding. You're not gonna build mass over time. You're not going to build it overnight. It's going to take time and patience. For my clients, a lot of them are, weight loss clients, and same thing. It's not going to happen overnight. If you lose 20 pounds in the first week, that tells me you're doing something drastic, and it's probably not going to be sustainable. So yeah, you just got to trust in the process.
Let's talk about sustainability. What's more sustainable to you? If we're talking about the client who loses 20 pounds in a week, or just anything, when we do it hard and quick and we get results fast, but then it doesn't pan out over time, like we tend to backpedal. So what creates sustainability for you?
Yeah, and that's what I always suggest to people. When we do our nutrition coaching plans, it is not a cookie cutter plan. It's not a one size fits all. We work individually with each person, and I will never be the coach that sits here and says, you can't ever have a cookie again, or you can't ever have a beer again, because that's not realistic and it's not sustainable. And I don't live my life like that. I love wine, so I will allow myself a night or two a week to have a glass of wine. Now, as I get closer to my bodybuilding, I'm going to have to cut that out, but that's a choice that I'm making. And so I'm making that choice to compete and to get that physically lean at that period of time. But, that's what I always tell people is you have a choice. You have a choice on how many, drinks you're going to have on Friday night. You have a choice if you're going to eat that chocolate chip cookie or 2 or 3 on Tuesday afternoon. It is your choice. And if your choice is that, and you think that cookie is worth it at the time, then eat the cookie, enjoy it, and then move on. Right? Don't sit there and think, oh, I messed up, and now well, I might as well have, nachos for dinner because I ate a cookie earlier today. Eat a cookie, enjoy it, and then have a healthy dinner. So that's where each person has to know where they are going to draw the line and what is going to be sustainable for them.
Awesome. I absolutely love it. So I want to start wrapping up here because I know you have to be somewhere at 2, and I like to keep it at about a half an hour, but there's a quote that's in your bio on your website, and I actually posted it on my social media because I love it so, so much. If something doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. Can you tell me where that came from and how that drives you, and just a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, I can't take credit for that. I probably saw that on the internet somewhere at some point in time, but we actually have that on our wall at Fit Fuel. And I say it often when I'm teaching classes because you can't see a change without a challenge. Whether that comes, with fitness or, just stepping outside of your comfort zone. It's okay to fail. It's okay to fail. There's another quote that we have on the wall that says, don't be afraid to suck at something new.
Yes.
I love that one. But it's okay. We're all going to fail. right? But that's how we learn and that's how we grow. So you've got to challenge yourself. You can't be afraid of failure. And, if there's something that you have been wanting to do in your life, go for it. And maybe that's, I took baby steps to build this business. I didn't just all of a sudden say, hey, I'm going to open this huge gym with all these services. It was baby steps to get there. It took 4 years to do it. And, but here we are. So, take what, I guess the big point is, what small step can you take today?
Oh, yes. I love that. What small step can, and baby steps, it makes me think of What About Bob? Have you ever seen that movie? What
Yeah.
About Bob? Oh my God, it's the best. But it's true. Baby stepping through anything, it's just like, what small step can you take? I absolutely love that. Okay, so I like to kind of bring in the fearless part of everything, but when it comes to living a fearless life, what does that look like for you?
Well, I have to say, I have to give you a little bit of credit for my success with the fitness division, because you and I had been talking through the spring, and there were so many things that resonated with me heading into that competition, and just some visualization things that it truly helped me succeed and win that one. So I thank you so much for Find Fearless Coaching. But yeah, I mean, I think always go back to your why. And if you are truly driven to do something, you shouldn't be afraid to take that next step. And if you always keep that centered, you, and it's a lot about attitude too. It's about how we react to things. Are we going to react to things in a positive way or a negative way? And, I think when we can change our attitude and just stay focused on what we really want, I think we can live a fearless life.
Yeah, I love it. All right, girl. Do you want to leave us with any nuggets of inspiration or anything that kind of is coming to mind? Any pieces, little last bits of advice or anything you can think of?
Yeah, I think don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone. If you try, you won't know. And, again, if there's setbacks, I had some setbacks with my kids in sports this year, this summer. And it was just that constant bug in their ear. Don't quit, don't quit, don't quit. You love this. You want this. Don't quit. And, I hope that resonates with people.
I love that. And, that was part of the 4 Ds too, is the diligence and the dedication. It's like, I loved what you said earlier about, showing up every day, and maybe some days you're not as on as others. I'm not saying it as beautifully as you did, but it's just still showing up and taking that baby step or taking that small action, no matter how small or big that action can be. So that is incredibly inspiring, and you are incredibly inspiring. And thank you. Thanks, girl. And thank you about the competition. I love to hear that I was kind of like in the back of your mind a little bit.
You were.
Oh, cool. Well, thank you again for coming on. Again, such an inspiration you are. And yeah, so if anybody wants to reach out to Ashley and learn more about what she has to offer, what she does, about any of her services, I will put all the links either above or below this video, depending upon the platform. And if you ever want to be interviewed by me or are interested in coaching services, please reach out to me as well. And Ashley, thank you so much again for being on. And yeah, have a good one.
All right. Thank you.
All right, girl. Bye.